Now,
to the
see,
news.
that's a whole shit show. Now, see, he gave that to them. He knew there was no relevance to that. He said when he contacted the news, he said they wanted to know if the police had that. Did they look at that part? Did they have that part? I don't think in any way, shape, or form he was like, "Oh, this is new footage. This is gonna break the case."
So 2 days ago,
it'll speak for itself. It'll take about 2 minutes here.
We have new video that the family of Sebastian Rogers and a private investigator helping them with his cause believe could be significant in the search for this missing 16-year-old. Our Holly Thompson first broke the story at 3 o'clock and asked the private investigator why he believes this is so significant.
The private investigator is helping Katie and Chris Proudfoot search for their son, Sebastian Rogers, who vanished so far without a trace from his home. That was almost a year ago. The family hired Steve Fischer late last year to take on Sebastian's case. Now, Steve says the video they're focused on now could be a break in the case. He says if you look closely, it shows a person in dark clothing in Sebastian's neighborhood right around 12
really far from
the night Sebastian disappeared. He says that person appears to hide behind a car when someone walks the dog nearby. Then that person takes off in the opposite direction. I asked Steve how significant this video is, video the public has never seen.
So what we found, we went through over 100 hours of surveillance. And it wasn't until the third pass through the surveillance that we even spotted this person. Is this person accounted for? Does law enforcement know who this individual is? Do they even know about this person in the video? And if they do, have they accounted for who that is?
Steve told us the TBI also had a copy of this video. We reached out to them asking why they never released it. There is still an Amber Alert out for Sebastian. Hundreds of hours have been pouring into finding him. Ground searches, drone maps, the use of scent dogs, and the scouring of surveillance video. So what's next in the search? I asked Steve that question, and you can see where he says they will soon focus their search in the WSMV4 News app. Okay. The family did sit down with me one-on-one. I'll have that full story for you on the day 1 year ago that Sebastian went missing.
I love that
That's
picture
Wednesday,
of him.
February 26th.
He looks so happy.
Right.
Okay. So you just do stop sharing.
Okay.
There you go. Now go back to streaming.
All
You're
right.
doing good. He's learning, guys.
I know it.
And I wanted to alert you of something. Allegedly innocent's here watching you.
Oh, good. Yeah. Glad you're here, Jules. She says, hugs, keep up the chatter. Great to see you.
Oh, she's talking to everybody else. I just wanted to let you know because he listens to Allegedly Innocent a lot. So
yeah. Oh yeah, it's one of my go-tos for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely recommend her channel. She's got a great common sense kind of approach to true crime. And she's done a lot on this case and just she kind of cuts through the nonsense and gets to it in a really insightful kind of way. So she's great. So I wanted
Cake Spoo is correct.
So obviously with this video, most of you know at this point, if you don't, this is nothing. This video is nothing. Mob Crew, if you want to see the full debunk, yeah, all I need is Jesus Coffee and True Crime says Ellie debunked the hell out of that. Yes, they did. And Allegedly Innocent says, my opinion is it is one person who may have gone to their truck to get something out of the truck. I'm so sick of shit. In my own personal life, outside of true crime, when I pay attention to a lot of news, world news, health, finance, whatever. Just I follow lots of people, lots of independent journalists and things like that. My own personal rule has always been, once I feel like a journalist has deceived me on purpose, I'm out. If they lie or peddle clickbait or fake news, I'm done with you. And I don't look back, even if they're like someone that aligns with my political ideologies or whatever. I'm done with you. I don't care what you have to say anymore. I wish I could do that with some people here, but he's so closely tied to the family that you have to pay some attention to it, even though you know that it's just disinformation after disinformation, right? So what's interesting about this to me is that Allegedly Innocent says, I greeted you guys first. LOL, just missed it. Hugs, Mr. E and the girls. Oh, thank you.
Aw, thank you.
So what's interesting to me though is that they screwed up his timing. He wanted this to come out like on the 26th. And so they wanted to have this kind of, they wanted to control the narrative. And for some reason, Channel 4 decided to release this several days earlier. And it gave all of us, the public, a day or two enough time to go through and go, this doesn't make any sense. That's not Sebastian. This is nothing nefarious. It's at the top of the neighborhood. Even the camera angle that's showing, he would have had to have walked by that camera at a closer angle than the one that was shown if it was actually Sebastian or anyone coming to or from the home. So it's apparent that it is a narrative controlling type of leak, because if that person had anything to do with Sebastian, then they would have been on that same camera walking down the street in front of the same house that he's got the camera with, right? So it's obviously something innocent. But what they wanted to do is they wanted to have the Proudfoots come out on the anniversary, do their interview. Hey, we've got this private investigator doing great work. Look at this new lead he's got. Maybe this is Sebastian. Maybe it's not. We can't quite tell. And it was going to control the narrative, make it seem to the non-crime, true crime fan, the people like us that are, just up to, that knows everything about the case, to just the average Joe Schmo nightly news guy. They would have been like, oh, okay, I saw Katie and Chris out there. They've got an investigator. They're working on it. And they don't think about the case the next day when all the debunking happens. Well, this screwed up that whole play, and it's backfired spectacularly on them, I think.
Oh, Fun to Ski's got a good idea.
Ooh, the moon is in a different location, date and timestamp. This could have been around 1900 hours, 7 p.m. in my opinion.
Interesting.
Well, that's interesting. I had not heard that.
Didn't think about that. Yeah.
I hadn't heard that.
I didn't look at it closely because I knew it was nothing.
I usually don't. I try not to look at his stuff at all if I can help it, because I just, the chances are it's nothing. And if you go with that, it usually is nothing or some form of twist of reality. Right. But that's interesting. And if you want to see the full debunking of the video, Mob Crew did an excellent job on that yesterday. It would be his latest video.
And prayers for Mob Crew. He's going through some stuff.
He is. He says he's got some immune problems or something. So
yeah.
Hopefully, pray for him on that. But he's back the last couple of days. But if you kind of want to just break the whole thing down and just see why it's nothing, he does an excellent job and makes some great points. And we're a fan of him, so he's great.
Absolutely.
That's the thing I don't like this. So if I'm going to be a little critical here of WSMV, they ran that story, but they didn't say anything about this line. Law enforcement has had possession of the original video since 72 hours after Sebastian was reported missing. After thoroughly investigating this lead, we determined that it has no relevance to the case, SCSO said in response. I mean, that's not ambiguous at all.
No.
That is a clear, this is nothing.
It's very
and we've
different.
known it was nothing since the first week.
It's very different than the flashlight too, because with the flashlight, they said it's of no evidentiary value at this time. So at this time is what the important part of that is.
Yeah.
Well, and CB asked, do you think they'll leave this special as is or edit it?
I don't know.
Oh, I think they'll leave it as is.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I've dealt with local media before, and local media is not gonna, I don't know, put in the effort. I don't know. I mean, I don't mean it ugly. I just know that they have a lot of stuff going on all the time, and I just don't imagine that they'll put that much effort into it.
And it's with this, and it was, they tried to time it with this little creative narrative thing with the video. They got busted up by WSMV. So they actually did us a favor by releasing that early, because now it's not going to work. They're going to have to regroup and come up with something else.